voices in the blackest night, spitting tales of emerald light. Byron and Phil with the banter tight, lantern stories taking flight. Heroes clad in emerald light, cosmic battles in the dark of night. Guardians calling from the galactic height, power rings are shining bright. Tune in for the mighty lore, legends that you can't ignore. From Mogo to Sinestro's war, the podcast of Ored gives you more.
Hey, Green Lantern fans, welcome to episode number 262 of the podcast of OA. I'm your co-host, Myron Rumsey. I am joined by my friend on the other end, Mr. Phil Bova. Phil, my friend, another month has come and gone. It's been a busy, busy summer. I'm getting ready. I'm literally leaving tomorrow for Terrificon. I probably will not get this episode done before I go because I still have to pack and I've got a bunch of books to pull that I'm going to get signed. So I'll probably have to do this editing and publishing when I get back. I'm excited to be talking comics again with you, my friend. We're going to be catching up on Green Lantern Corps and Green Lantern. So we're going to cover in this episode Green Lantern Corps 5 and 6 and Green Lantern number 25.
All excellent stuff. I'm liking the core book. It's growing on me, you know.
It's okay. It's definitely the weaker of the two books as far as I'm concerned, but
Yeah, I would agree with that.
before we get to recording and stuff and talking about comics, got Green Lantern news. Plus, you and I have a mail call. What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the news? Or you want to start with the mail call?
Do the news first, and then we'll do the mail call after.
Gotcha. So recent Green Lantern news: Lanterns has wrapped shooting. Ulrich Thompson, who plays Sinestro, posted a picture of himself on social media with his mustache shaved half off. And his comment for the picture was, "Bye for now, Sinestro. I'll keep one side for later. Hope to see you again." Definitely
It's
doesn't
a,
imply that he's definitely going to be back again. And I'm sure we won't know what's going to happen with the show until the show gets aired and we find out whether we're going to get more than one season of it.
I mean, it's a safe way to say, hey, we'll give you a contract extension depending on how well it does. Let's put a teaser out. Depending on how well it does, you're going to come back and play Sinestro again.
Yeah, I would assume. I mean, we know that Cal Chandler is only signed for one season. We don't know what anybody else is signed for. So I guess we'll find out more. Obviously, when it gets closer, there's no trailer or anything yet that came out of San Diego. Really, no other news. One other thing that just came out within the last couple of days is a young actor by the name of Kerry Christopher, who's associated with Mr. Mom, the remake of Mr. Mom and Days of Our Lives, is going to have a guest starring role. He's going to be playing a character named Noah, who is described as a polite and charming small town kid, gifted for his age and effortlessly good at whatever he tries. So, um, the cynic in me is like, he's gonna be another Green Lantern, but I don't think that's what's gonna
Well,
happen.
what's the last part? He's happiest when passing a football.
Yeah,
So, I mean, uh, there's no lanterns called Noah. I mean,
no,
unless they're going to take it in a different direction than the book, you know.
yeah. Who knows? Who knows what they're gonna do? I don't think they're because none of the characters other than Sinestro and Hal and John and their associated family. And they've even changed the name of John's parents. There are no characters that are tied, from what we know so far, there are no characters tied to Lantern lore. So it seems like it's a completely original story. So who knows what they're going to do?
Well,
Other news.
hold on, I'm okay with that, but if it's another Earth lantern, I'm going to lose my, you know what. Anyway, let's continue on before I go down that rabbit hole.
Okay, let's shift gears to animation. My Adventures with Green Lantern, which we know is going to focus on a high school age Jessica Cruz who gets her power ring while she's in high school. Uh, you can hear my eyes rolling from here there, I'm sure. Uh, they put out a casting call for the actress to play Jessica Cruz. They're looking for someone who's 18 years or older to play the character who will be between the ages of 14 and 15. So we're doing Teen Lantern with Jessica Cruz, apparently. But apparently what's interesting about this is they're doing their casting call. The person who's going to play Jessica needs to know how to sing. Don't know how that ties in. Other than maybe there's gonna be a musical episode, I don't know, or maybe she's gonna be doing music, or music is gonna be a regular feature of the show. It's hard to say. They in the casting call posted more information about the series and said that she played softball. She had a normal childhood. Hung out with her best friends Kyle and Nikki. Now, was that Kyle Rayner, or is that just a generic Kyle? Don't know. They don't say. But she stayed out of trouble. But just as life collapsed when everyone around her hit puberty and got mean. Betrayed by her friends and bullied out of softball, Jess withdrew. Better to be small and safe to be yourself and get hurt. We meet Jess at the top of high school, a chronically anxious freshman who starts the year hoping to keep her head down and get by, but who ends up being chosen by a magic ring to be the cosmic champion of all life, the Green Lantern. Despite her fear, anxiety, and her low opinion of herself, Jess will find that she does have the tenacity and courage to meet this challenge, to become the world's greatest hero.
Man, that's a lot to unpack. And I like
Yeah.
to, and I'm not really going to, but I will say I'm interested in the target audience here, right? For Jessica Cruz. It kind of makes sense. I mean, it's kind of a niche, right? I mean, if you're going to utilize that character and her being female, and you're going to try to do a branch of a superhero and have it at the Green Lantern Corps, I mean, Cruz is a good character to do that with. However, I will argue that Saronic Natu would have been a good character too.
Hmm. It's also odd, the teenage thing. Why are we de-aging her so much? But I guess if you're doing that to relate to kids.
I mean, here's a problem with this. I mean, we get stuck in this age thing when it comes to the lantern stuff. And like you said, with if Chandler does 1 year and he's gone, and Sinestro does 1 year and he's gone, depending on where the story goes, I don't mind if they kill the characters off, but I will mind if they kill them off in such a way that we don't get to see them and how they developed, right? So, like, let's say, for instance, at the end of Lanterns season 1, something happens to Hal, and we don't know. Maybe goes the Parallax route. Maybe we don't know. I do hope that they find a younger actor and they do an earlier version to show some of the good stuff instead of leaving this on the trail end of like, I mean, what I fear is his career as a Lantern.
If the Gunverse is around that long, um, I don't see them doing a lot of flashback projects. And again, you're not going to do a whole lot with the character doing a flashback if your way forward is with another character.
Well, then they should do a Parallax then. I mean,
If they're going to do Parallax and they bring him back and de-age him, okay.
whatever. But we don't need to go down that rabbit hole either because we have time. We have plenty of time to travel those many rabbit holes.
That's the main Green Lantern thing. There really hasn't been much else out there. So let's jump to the mail call. You and I got a couple packages. I got a package from a listener. You got a package from me with something I picked up for you. When I did go see Superman. Um, we won't go there. It was okay. It wasn't. I had problems with the movie, and the problems I had with the movie really made it hard for me to enjoy certain parts. But
I'm gonna say that Nathan Fillion knocked it out of the ballpark. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. I mean, you don't have to be a Guy Gardner fan, right?
Mhm.
But you cannot tell me that anybody who is a Guy Gardner fan that's read comic books had a problem with his characterization. It felt spot on. His dialect was directly on point with how he acts. That scene that I keep sending you all the time, the one that I was going to walk into my meetings this week. I mean, that scene was great, man. I mean, it was just okay. That's comical, and that's something Guy would do
Mhm.
given that scenario.
Other than killing those guys, yeah.
But oh well, you don't know if they die or not, right? I mean, like it's we're gonna leave that up to interpretation. However, I will argue that I think Nathan Fillion nailed it.
I
The
think he got the character right.
and I hope to see more of him.
Yeah.
And gladly we will. And I think this is going to open up a whole another realm with Peacemaker. I mean, Peacemaker crossing paths with Guy Gardner is going to be kind of.
Oh, that's comedy gold right there.
I mean, you that's a win-win.
Yeah.
So I like their direction they're going, and I see some threads that are building, I'm really I got a lot of hope for that.
Yeah, my problems with it centered around the message from Kal-El's parents and the Justice Gang killing.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
had a problem with Superman not really defeating anybody, but
And
that's
and
just
that's fair. That's a fair analysis. I mean, I mean, I honestly tried to go through in my head because I'm going to see it again because I want to see it again with a different set of eyes to see if there's anything in there that because I couldn't find anything I didn't really like. I felt like the parent scene was kind of overshadowed a little bit. I felt it was quick and then it was over, right? You don't see his parents again that much. You know what?
yeah. You mean
I felt like
the mom and pa Kent part or the
yeah,
yeah.
just the mom and pop Kent part. But we've already seen a lot of that, so maybe that's something that's going to
Yeah.
be down the line.
Yeah, I mean that part didn't bother me because I felt like they captured the essence of Mom and Pa Kent, and I
Yeah.
liked the Lois and Clark dynamic. I liked
Mhm.
Corn Sweat. I liked the heart of the movie. There were just some of the, for me, a lot of the humor didn't land at all. So other than the Guy Gardner parts, a lot of the other humor didn't land. I loved how Lois poked the bear a lot with Clark during their the Superman interview.
Right.
I did really like that. But I had problems with other parts, and the problem was the problems they had overshadowed some of the good things for me. But
No, that's fair. I
the message of Jor-El really kind of got under my craw.
I kind of wondered why they were going with something like that, right? I mean, it's like, and apparently it's supposed to be a true message.
Right, right. And apparently one of the comics kind of went in that direction too. It just kind of flies in the face of what I can see what they're trying to do though, is that in the end, Clark chooses humanity over his Kryptonian heritage. And
It was kind of, I kind of related it to when he had, when Zod was getting ready to kill that dude
yeah, yeah.
and he broke his neck. You know, he had to make a decision,
I
right?
had I had less of a problem with him snapping Zod's neck than the Jerome message.
That's fair. I
But
didn't.
that's just my thing about it. And I had a problem with the Justice Gang killing. I mean, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm sorry, we're spoiling stuff right now.
It's
Um,
been out for a while now. I think a
yeah.
lot heard.
The killing of the kaiju bugged me a great deal. Um, and I had the same problem with the Marvel movies that I hate with the Guy Gardner scene. Yeah, you don't know if they're alive or not, but these guys got flung 30, 40 feet in the air.
Right.
I would have been better with that scene had the ring also created couches for them to land on.
Uh, That would have been a good follow-up. I mean, or
Yeah,
some kind of padding or some kind of like bounce house, right? It would be a Guy Gardner would do a bounce house.
sure. You could argue in your head, in your own head canon, that he did that. You just couldn't see it on camera. You could argue that. Um,
But you're talking about how it visually seen by people watching it.
Sure, by what you see, it certainly doesn't show that. And the
Right.
death of the kaiju, the killing of the kaiju, and not finding another way. I know this is a world where Superman has not asserted himself yet, but there's also, we're making a big deal over the fact that this is a world where superheroes already exist. I would expect them to be superheroes, and they could have found another way and worked with Superman versus this competition thing where nobody won, especially Superman.
Eddie Galacki, though, man, Mr. Terrific, he nailed it. I
Oh
was actually
yeah,
surprised by his character. I was like, man, I really like him.
yeah, I liked what he did in it. And I really felt sympathetic for Metamorpho, and I thought that was pretty good.
That was cool. And
Um,
Hawker was spot on. She was great. I mean, I don't know much about her. I mean, I read more Hawkman, but by
yeah, I didn't think her Hawk cry was very convincing, but that's just a personal opinion.
you just
Um,
gotta grow into it, you know?
the thing with the monkeys, I thought was whatever.
I get it. I get it. No qualms, but in the grand scheme of things, you can't argue the fact that at least it's a step in the right direction, you know?
I think the right foot went the right direction, the left foot didn't. But that's again personal opinion. Um, Certainly seems to be have done well in the box office, at least in the US, which is good.
I know I can't wait to what comes out of the Blu-ray. I think I might pre-order that thing. I need to
Yeah,
order.
I'm waiting to see how many different variations it comes up with, like in terms of steel books And lots of times, and it isn't so much anymore. I'm disappointed that retailers, when it comes to physical media, they seem to have abandoned the physical media. I prefer physical media over streaming every day of the week.
I absolutely do. We get into discussions about that all the time.
Yeah,
People, they're like, "Oh, well, I have this, I have this." I'm like, "Yeah, but do you? Well,
right, right.
you don't own that." She's like, "Well, it's always on there." I'm like, "Yeah, until it's not."
Exactly. And will you know when it's not? That's the thing, you know?
And people complain, "Well, they took this down off of this streaming network." Yeah, should have bought it on DVD.
Right, right.
That's why I bought Wings and Cheers and all them on DVD. I got them all, man.
The it used to be that like some of the retailers would get exclusives where they'd have like an extra disc of goodies that was only like Target was one that was really known for that, and the steel books and so on. And I
Right.
just kind of see them getting away from that, which is disappointing because, like I said, you and I are both in agreement on the physical media thing. I'd buy a disc over a digital version. Now, if it has a code with it for a digital version, certainly it makes it convenient when you can still get it. But
Yeah, whatever I do download, I always make sure that I put it on an external storage. At,
right.
at the end of the day, I have a digital copy, but at least I still have it.
I can think of, for example, I'm a big Star Trek fan. My wife and I are both huge Star Trek fans. That's actually how we met. And we have all of the classic Star Trek movies, and we usually like to stream them through Amazon. And we went the other day to watch the director's cut of the first movie from 1979, and it was gone.
It's
They
sad.
they got pulled off of Amazon. Fortunately, I had a Fandango app that I could still watch it that way because I have the accounts linked together. But we were using Amazon because it pulled all of my Amazon air quote purchases of things and all of those things together. But sometimes if they don't have the licensing, it just doesn't carry over.
It's funny you mention that. You know what I watched? I watched Wrath of Khan the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had it on at work while I was working. I put it on my computer and while I was doing my stuff, and it was going the whole time.
Ricardo Montalban had a real hard time getting acting jobs after doing that movie.
Really?
Yeah, because nobody wanted to hire an ex-con. But anyway, we've got a couple packages. Do you want to do yours first? I know you know what's one of the items as I sent you.
Yeah, right. I can do mine first. I'm excited. All right, so here's the box. Right on. Came today. I got.
And there's a little something extra in there for Clark.
I didn't tell him that.
Actually, there's a couple little somethings extra in there for Clark, but
Uncle Myron, there he goes, spoiling my son. So, all right, that's for Clark, so we can open that later.
now there's in the little thing with crypto, there's a little clip, so don't lose the clip.
Yeah, I
Because
got it.
when we bought it, there was no clip in the bag, and I made them go and open another one up in the back.
All right, there's the
Yeah.
clip. Man, that's really nice quality too. It's not like, wow, okay. This is awesome. I'm super stoked about this. Trying to decide on what I'm going to use it for.
Right, right, right. But yeah, they only had one left when we got to the theater, and it was missing the clip. So they went and they broke the clip off their display one so I could have a clip.
There it is, man. That's amazing. Absolutely. I'll put the clip on in a minute.
Yeah, yeah. Once you get the clip on, it's really hard to get off without breaking anything.
Yeah,
They ended up damaging the bowl getting the clip off.
it's really awesome. Thank you, man. I love it. This is great.
But it's funny how different movie theater chains get different things. We only have a Regal where I live, so they had the Crypto Bowl and they had the one with the heat vision into the popcorn popper.
Right, right, right.
Those were the two that they had.
And I got the mailbox thing at mine. I
Cool.
think I had that. They didn't have the thing you had. They didn't have crypto there at all. Um, they had a couple other things, but nothing like nothing that was like you had it. And I remember hearing about it from other people, and that, oh yeah, I didn't get that at my theater, and overseas it was different too.
Yeah, the popcorn things have become a big whole collectible market now. I saw people talking about the Galactus head for Fantastic Four and how much that's going for like 80 bucks. Yep. New podcast of OA cards to promote the show.
Wow.
Got them printed just in time for Terrificon.
That's a
Uh,
that's a good idea.
Only stupid me forgot to put YouTube on the back when I put the logos of where you can find the show. I wasn't smart enough to put YouTube on the back, but
Next round.
yeah, next round.
I'll do them and then I'll pay for the next round. We'll do YouTube on them. Hey, maybe
Gotcha.
then there'll be another screaming another streaming service, you know?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
All right, last package is for Clark. We'll get that later when he wakes up. All right.
The Superman logo on the bag is a cape.
Oh, that's sweet. That's a nice logo. I need
So
to find.
you can actually take the cape and unfurl it from the logo and he can actually wear it. It'll go around his head.
That's
So the
awesome.
logo will sit on his chest and then he has a little buddy inside.
There
Um,
you go. Love it. Thank you, man.
and today I received a package, well, yesterday actually, from one of our listeners named Michael, and he is a firefighter and he wanted to send me something. So I was like, yeah, you don't have to send me anything, but I appreciate it. So I thought, what we'd do is we'd open it on air. That way he could see me getting it. I want to be careful because it is wrapped tightly and there's a bubble wrap inside. Box over here. Very nice. Let me get this open. I don't want to damage it.
Where's he from? What city?
He is from, I don't want to out him online, so
Oh,
I'm being careful to how I
oh,
pronounce his
state.
name.
Just give me a state works.
But he's from Florida. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, cool.
So this is from Michael from Florida. Oh, the downside opening it live on Mike was I couldn't prep it by getting it open ahead of time.
Now I'm gonna go make some coffee in a little bit.
Well, my left hand is so hard to work with sometimes too. It looks to be some artwork. This is wrapped like a Christmas present.
Yeah, but it's shipped though, man. At least it's,
Yeah, yeah.
that's the best thing about stuff like this is safe. I mean, yours was packed pretty good too.
Very nice. It's metal.
Oh man, that's a sweet shot too.
It's a display. Have you ever heard of displays?
Huh.
They do comic art and they're metal signs and they come with magnets that you mount and stick to your wall. And then you can just pop the magnet off and put another piece on,
Oh,
which is
you
really
gotta
cool.
send,
And they have a line of different Green Lantern products.
can you send them an image or do they do?
I think they primarily just do the images they have.
Man, that's awesome. I like that shot. I had that as a wallpaper for the longest time.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Michael. I really love it. That's awesome.
Right on, Michael. I
That's
need to link to
really
that place
cool.
that does that.
It has a faux wood grain in the outside edge too.
Yeah,
It's really
that's
nice. Thank you so much. I love it. It's fantastic.
see, this is an argument I have with people when they talk about this kind of stuff, right? And they don't realize that it's art. They're like, well, we don't need it hanging in our family room. It's art. Like,
Right.
I mean, it really is. I understand that the aesthetic of it has got a stereotype, but like at the end of the day, it is art. I mean, I can't tell you how many comic books I buy just for the cover alone. I don't even read the book, right? Because I like,
Right. Right. Yeah, sometimes I do get things just for the artwork, just because the art's fantastic. And speaking of artwork, our friend Daniel, who runs the Green Lantern Book Club,
right.
for the Facebook group, they recently did an interview with Daryl Banks.
Oh, that's cool. I bet you that was a good time.
Yep, yeah, and he was telling me that Daryl is taking commissions, and that he works up pricing and so on. He actually posted a picture of a commission he had done. I'll grab the image and throw it up on the screen so you can see it. But this is a commission that Daniel had done. And he shared with me Daryl Banks's email address, which I'm going to put up here on the screen because if I try to read it, it's not going to work out too well. And I'll post it in the show notes for those that listen versus watch. But he is taking commissions and so on.
Hey, what do you think the chances are we can get him on the cast?
Oh, we probably could. We probably could.
That'd be a good time.
I'm looking to this weekend when I'm at Terrificon talking to Jeremy Adams. I'm also thinking maybe Paul Kupperberg. Paul Kupperberg did a was really neat. He's done a grab this book. He's done a lot of his scripts that never got published, and he's published the scripts.
I got that. That's you're the one that led me onto that, and I read it. It's good.
He's got an unpublished script for a Hal Jordan story that would have kind of filled in the blanks a little bit around Emerald Twilight. So I thought that was interesting, that maybe that'd be worth having him on the show to talk about at greater length.
That would be kind of cool. Like a book.
So yep, I thought maybe I'd talk to him as well. And there's seemed a couple other people that I might be talking to see if we can get on the show.
Hey, make sure I had contacted Tim Sheridan the other day, and I think they were going to see Superman, and I told him he was going to have dinner with Adams one night, and I told him I said make sure that you let him know we like what he did with the Interceptor, and I hope he knew that the fans were listening. I don't know if you told him or not, but if you see him this weekend, you'll have to say something to him.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll talk to him about it. I'll make some kind of crack. I haven't figured out what I'm going to have him sign. I have a signed book from him, and I forgot I had done it until this package showed up the other day. There was a company that was doing a set of signed Green Lantern Corps issues signed by Jeremy Adams and Morgan Hampton, and I think it was the first 6 issues or something, signed by both of them. And so I've got all of those, so I'm not sure what I'm going to have to sign. My wife is going with me, and I think we talked about before in the show how she's a big Supernatural fan, and so she's going to get something signed by him. But she doesn't forgive him because he was the story editor in the last season of Supernatural. So
Or
it'll be an interesting interaction. It'll be
and
fun.
that's going to be a funny conversation too.
Make sure I talk to him first before she beats him up and I get thrown out. It wouldn't happen. But we are celebrating our anniversary tomorrow. We've been married. Tomorrow will be 38 years.
38, huh?
38. Yep.
We'll be at 10 and 27. So
It's
that's all. Been there by your side 100%, man.
100%. I tell you, I'm still struggle with the side effects of the stroke and whatnot, but I wouldn't be anywhere near where I'm at if it wasn't for her. So,
I wouldn't be anywhere where I was if it wasn't for my wife. So,
yep.
and any guy that can't admit that, they're an idiot. They're an idiot.
We did.
I mean, come on, man. We know where it lies. I mean, we know where the power is. We all do.
Yep. That's right. All right. Well, friends, we're going to get back here and talk Green Lantern Corps 5 and 6 right after a short break.
What up, dweebs? This is Guy Gardner. You're listening to the podcast of OA.
All right, welcome back. So we're going to be talking Green Lantern Corps 5 and 6. And this is the continuation of the plot line where Simon Baz and Kelly are inside of the mine trap, trying to get their way out. And this one focuses more on Kelly. We dealt mainly with the Simon Baz one in the last issue. And there's a little bit more of it there too about the death of characters that shaped, Simon and shaped Ellie or Kelly, excuse me. But and this again is juxtaposed with the whole story with Guy Gardner and Narf on out in space and dealing with Evil Star. And I have to say, I did like Evil Star as kind of the cosmic gangster bit.
Mhm. Yeah, that was kind of neat.
That was kind of a different take. But I guess, because I'm not a fan of Simon Baz or Kelly, I think they're two characters that are probably my least two favorite Lanterns. It really I didn't get much out of the issue, and this really didn't make it more interesting to me either.
Well, I think it's any reader's perception, right? I mean,
Right, right.
if you're not attracted to a character or you don't really don't, oh, I really don't like that character. It's kind of a glaze point.
Yeah,
I always just breeze through it and I'm like, and I pay attention to the stuff I want to pay attention to, like Evil Star, I don't
right, right.
the art shift. It seemed like it shifted pretty quick, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've got V. Ken Marion doing all the artwork, and his style's a bit different than what we've seen so far in the series. So it's a little bit different. I did like certain elements. Like I liked when we got to the introduction of Space Cabbie, and he's
Mhm.
got the three-legged waitress at the car hop. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I like Space Cabbie.
Yeah, Space Gabby's always a great character to have around.
Yeah, and I liked how he shows up and kind of pulls guys bacon out of the frying pan essentially.
And then we get to what are we on? Necropia?
Yeah.
Necropia. Yeah, right.
So the only thing really out of this issue that I found of any interest was what's going on behind the door, right?
At the end.
Yeah. And we get to tease that there's that secret's going to be revealed in the next issue, which spoiler it does not. But what do you think it is? I mean, we get the impression it's a he. My guess is it's Krona,
Oh, I wouldn't have put that two and two together.
only because the gauntlet is so much like Krona's gauntlet.
I mean, that would be okay. Well, if you're right about that, that's brilliant. I mean, because that would be one tie-in that would make sense. I mean, but I mean, I'm going to play critical eye here. Do you think Adams has, if that is the play he's making, do you think Adams has the knowledge to be able to do that with that particular character?
I think he could, if he's done some research. I mean, that's one of the things. It's one of the criticisms of his run is that he's not as familiar with some of the Lantern lore, so he makes some mistakes with some things. But
That would be,
again, what is continuity anymore, right?
I mean, there is that, and but this isn't really about being continuity. This is about tying that gauntlet with her, you know.
Yeah,
And it says Mission to Mogo, which I'm happy because Mogo is one of my faves. I'm
yeah.
glad I'm back.
I um, I only think of Krona because the Gauntlet is so similar to the Krona Gauntlet. Is this an earlier iteration of the Gauntlet, or is there a reason why there was another version that they somebody tried to make afterwards? Did the Gauntlet get taken from Krona, and this is a different version of it? I don't know, but just the visual similarities and the fact that it's a he. That's what gave me the 2 + 2 = 4 for this one. Is it though? I don't know. It could be
Where,
something completely different. Somebody we have no idea who it is.
where did she even get that thing from? Do you remember? I don't even remember.
Um, there was I didn't see this. I didn't read the issue that it happened in because it wasn't a Green Lantern book, I don't think. Uh, she gets basically you see the alien that's there, the alien Green Lantern that's on the planet on Earth when she's getting the gauntlet. That's basically she encounters a drug deal or something gone wrong and takes the gauntlet away because the Green Lantern gets killed,
Gotcha.
and
Okay.
she takes the gauntlet and then backwards engineers it. But that story's been told a couple times in a couple different ways, so it's hard to say what's what. Um, so I found that less than interesting. The other thing was the punchline for Narf, the payoff for Narf finally happens. And I'm like, well, why didn't he do that earlier?
Right.
They he waits at the last second and then he turns into this big roaring beast. And I'm like, well, can he only do that like once every 24 hours or something? Or what's the deal?
Every time I see him, I don't think Narf. I think Snarf. Snarf,
I
Snarf.
I just think if he just had a G in front of his name, he could be Nort's little brother.
That'd
Uh,
be kind of cool.
but yeah, no, it didn't do anything for me this issue, other than there's that little kernel about what's going on in Kelly's mind with all this. What's behind the door? That that to me is the big thing.
I think
Uh,
what's intact though in this story, or well, in these books, is it's a Green Lantern Corps story, right? I
it's
mean,
supposed to be, yeah.
I mean, I would like to have more members in it, especially more alien members showing up, guys
Right,
in a while, whatever the case may be. But at least it's a core kind of book, right?
right.
They're it's their I guess it would be their sect of the Corps because it seems like this is one group of guys,
It,
right?
it's basically following the Earth Lanterns in the Green Lantern Corps and slapping Green Lantern Corps on the cover.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, you could also argue that.
I hope we get more, and there's little sprinklings. I mean, I don't want it to sound like I'm too harsh on it, but there's little sprinklings. We're going to see Mogo in the next issue. We but in this issue, you got Narf, so I guess you could count that. We're going to see another Green Lantern in the next issue, and another new character. Um, it's hard to, especially it's I don't know, Green Lantern is such in a weird place because there are so many Earth Lanterns, and you and I, neither one of us liked the previous run. But the only thing that I agreed with Jeffrey Thorne on, he was going to deal with some of these issues. And I'd have been all for that. It was just all the other stuff that went along with it that I didn't care for.
Right.
But it is what it is. I didn't I was you know what my hope was is reading this story with Kelly and Simon was I was hoping to read something that would make me want to like those characters more.
I think that's gonna happen, bro.
It didn't. It didn't.
That ship has sailed, and I don't think you're ever gonna find that.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be the same as me finding something to like about Batman. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I'm never gonna read a Batman book. I mean, if he shows up, cool, but that's all I care about. I'm not into. He doesn't interest me on levels,
yeah.
I, but I understand the interest from people that do.
Sure. I mean, that's the thing is as comic book fans, there are characters that resonate with us and there are characters that don't. And unfortunately, there are some Green Lantern characters that just don't resonate for me.
Well, and it's like you, and your passion lies with Hal Jordan, and and your personal connection to it, and
Hmm.
mine is Superman, and it always has been since day one. Now, Green Lantern is a byproduct of me liking Superman, and out of all the ones that I've liked, Green Lantern came in second up there with Aquaman. But at the end of the day, I mean, we all have our certain likes, and
Right, right, right. And you try to find things like I love Kilowog. I love most of the alien Green Lantern characters. There are very few that I don't like. I have a hard time reckoning having so many Earth Lanterns.
no, I
It
get,
it's kind of like, DC, they when they want to appeal to another demographic, they just blur their power ring or give them super speed
I
or
get it.
or put a logo on their chest and there you go. But that leads us into issue 6,
You get to see Sinestro.
which is also another team up of two characters that I'm not particularly interested in, but that's okay. But this at least ties a little more into the ongoing story with the Starbreakers and trying to deal with it. It almost feels a little bit like the Starbreaker plot is almost, even though it's supposed to be the main driving force, is almost secondary sometimes.
I kind of feel like it gets pushed aside a lot.
Right, right. It's like you forget about they're all working on this big thing, this universe-ending potentially catastrophe.
Well, and
Uh,
then over in the Green Lantern book, it's all spot on with him and Sorrow guy.
yeah, yeah. So we see in this issue that Ellie is trying to get Kelly to open up and let her peek inside her head, and she doesn't want to allow it to happen. And then we see Jessica struggling with the leadership of the Green Lantern Corps.
It's a cool flag she's got in her office, so.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of interesting to see them with a flag, though, isn't it? It's kind of interesting. But
So we got all your favorites in this room. We got Baz, we got Joe Mullane, and then we got Keith
Kelly
Kelly.
and Jessica. I'm not a big fan of Jessica either, to be honest.
There you go.
And we have Joe getting Jessica out of the office. I did like the introduction of this new character, and I'm going to mispronounce the name because I don't know how it's actually pronounced, but Vexaru.
Saru, yeah, she's cool, man. I like her outfit too.
Yeah, yeah. I like that they've kind of gone back to having the unique uniform designs. That was something I liked from the old days, was that a
Right.
lot of the lanterns had unique designs. It made them stand out.
Yeah, and not only just unique designs, but also unique what they do with the rings, right? I mean, like
Right.
talking about the molecule and the equation, the math equation,
Right. And Box. Remember Box? What a great character. Um, or Muck Muck.
and Mogo for that matter, right? I mean, it's just
Sure.
planet
Yeah.
with the
And we find out that Mogo has been, Mogo is trying to heal.
poor Mogo.
Mogo really, he or she takes it on the hemisphere all the time. I mean, if John's not blowing him up, he's always under attack. Poor thing.
And we don't know a lot about Mogo either. You need to do like an in-depth storyline about Mogo.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to do like an introspective, what does Mogo actually think about things? It's interesting.
I do know I want to make a big paper mache Mogo at some point and hang it up and light it. That's going to happen in my basement.
That'll be your main lighting, right?
That's right.
But we see Joe and Jessica there, and obviously there's obviously got to be plans for Mogo
Hmm.
beyond this. Otherwise, we wouldn't spend the issue trying to figure out what's going on with Mogo. And then we get the arrival of two other characters that I love so much, the Sin Sons.
God. Well, you kind of knew they were going to show up at some point, right? I mean,
I was hoping they were going to be forgotten and just ignored, but a man can dream.
this book, in all its entirety, is a complete letdown to you because, like, it's gotten hitting all the marks with the characterization. Even Hal Jordan couldn't come in and save the day on this book, man.
It won't happen as long as Morgan Hampton is writing it. It won't happen. Um,
All right, so
again,
Mogo again with this.
yeah, I didn't find much really going on. I just because there doesn't seem to be a lot driving the narrative forward, it just feels like so much of this is filler.
Yeah, because we don't even get to the bottom of Korrigar, really.
No, no, we really don't get any answers here.
No,
We did see that Sinestro says he's proud of Sin Sun.
oh, there you go. A little bonding moment for father and son. Hey, wait a minute. Is this the first time they've been interacted then?
I'm not sure. I think they interacted before. I think Sinestro showed up in the final issue of their series.
Okay, I didn't never read it, so I wouldn't have known. So
Yeah, yeah, I didn't either. But it was interesting to see the Sin Sons have taken Korrigar and they're taking up leadership of Korrigar.
yeah, there you go. Let the kids run the place. That's right.
We do get a one-page teaser at the end, tying it back to Starbreaker.
Which is a cool page.
And it basically ties it back into Green Lantern 25 and the start of the Starbreaker Supremacy.
It's cool. So, what is he reading the book? I guess that's the book of Oa, right?
Yeah, yeah, he has the Book of Oa.
So I wonder what part he's reading on. Now, I would imagine those two stones are they on the pages of the book? Are they three-dimensional?
I think they're on the pages of the book.
Okay.
Although I could see, if I'm picturing the Book of Mogo in my head, images like that would be like in Harry Potter, they'd move, only they'd be three-dimensional.
Like an,
They'd literally pop off the page.
kind of like if you were reading Moby Dick and like a whale jumped over.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool. What a great invention that would be. But I do like Starbreaker, man. He's cool.
Yeah. I just felt like the story, we didn't really get resolution to anything before
Yeah.
we go into Starbreaker Supremacy. We don't know what's behind the wall, the door. Is Mogo okay? I
Well, I
mean,
know that Starbreaker, a good team up with him that should be on his team is Controller Move. They'd be a
yeah, that
great,
would be cool.
that'd be a cool team up. All right, so now we go into Green Lantern
Green
20.
Lantern 25. So let's take a quick break and we'll pause here and then we'll jump into Starbreaker Supremacy.
Will do.
In brightest day or blackest night, there's only one place to listen to the best in Green Lantern. That's the podcast of Oa.
All right, we're going to jump into Green Lantern number 25 and the start of the next, or I should say, the first crossover between Green Lantern Corps and Green Lantern, the Starbreaker Supremacy. And the issue starts out with the Guardians talking about the fact that they were like, well, we don't have all of our memories back yet since being in the one giant battery during the Thorn run. And they're sure they would have had a contingency, but they don't know what it is. They can't remember. And rather than try to go hunt for whatever their contingency plan is, they're just going to continue to do something else and come up with their own answers. And we get a little bit more of Kelly's mind with Ellie trying to get in there, and the doors are not letting her through yet. And she's doing this while she's trying to entertain Kelly. And you have a couple good scenes between Kyle, or not Kyle, between Guy and Hal, which is kind of neat.
Of course.
And I like the layout of all of these power batteries is rather interesting. They're not rather than having them on all different planets, they're trying to assemble the entire power batteries for the emotional spectrum together on Oa.
Well, it makes it unique because the just the center of it is the color and not the whole entire battery like it normally would.
Right, right. It's definitely a completely different redesign. I kind of like how they've got connections between the power batteries. Like, is this how they're going to have stability? Is they cross feed? It's definitely an interesting take on it all. I kind of wonder if Oa eventually becomes the home to all of the emotional spectrum core.
Well, that would be cool. Or Mogo.
Yeah, or Mogo. I mean, do they transplant this to Mogo at some point? Who knows?
Or maybe not. All right, then we see Sapphire.
Yep, she shows up, and it's interesting that while all of these emotions are manifesting throughout the universe, the Violet or the Star Sapphires are not.
Yeah, none of that's affected. And not only that, we don't see any other members, right?
No, none, none. So that's one interesting thing in particular. I thought it was a little, and maybe it's no longer in continuity, but Carol kind of teasing John about him realizing how empty his life is. I thought, oh, that's kind of a bad take because Star Sapphire killed Kat Matui, who John was married to.
Yeah, but I mean,
It was technically the Predator, okay, but
I wonder if Adams knows that when he wrote that.
well, right. We just talked about that. Does he know or doesn't he know? But us knowing and reading that scene is like, oh, that's kind of a dig if you if you read into it a little bit.
Well, see, that's a unique quality of writing stuff like that, right? I mean, if you do something like that, I 10 to 1 says he didn't know, you
Probably
know,
not. Probably
at the
not.
time. And it's going to take somebody like you or maybe somebody at DC. Hey, by the way, just, that little part you put in there. I mean, maybe, who knows? I would
Well,
think,
is it even still in continuity? I mean, obviously Kat Matui's not around.
well,
She
yeah,
she was killed somewhere along the way. Um, but it's just kind of a I don't know. You could really read that in a couple different ways,
you could. You
and
really
I don't know if I have the heart to tell him. I'm going to sing on the weekend. I don't want to. He'd be like, I never want to talk to you again. I don't know.
make it fix your interceptor. What else do you want?
One thing at a time, Rumsey. One thing at a time.
Right.
Uh, Interesting that we see the Starbreakers and their power batteries are very similar in design to what John has come up with. Thought it was interesting.
Now, this was a surprise to me seeing Amethyst show up in here.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting and not unrealistic to have it happen. I think it was interesting to draw the connection between Gem World and the emotional spectrum.
Well, it's a lot like God, what race are the starts begin with a Z, right?
Zamorans.
Samarons, right? I mean, it has that same hue, so I mean, maybe there's something tied to it. I mean, could be why they're protected. You know what I mean?
Right, right. And then we get to see a little bit more with Aya. And I
It's
thought I was drawn really well. How do you take a 3D CG created character and bring her to flat 2D animation? I thought they did a good job.
Yeah, it's a good translation. And her characterization is done really well because it really picks up off of her feelings at the end of the animated series.
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting she finds out about Razor.
which is cute. I mean, they got a cute relationship, right?
Yeah.
They both care about one another, which I still think to this day Razor is being underutilized, but at some point I hope there's I think he's gonna find his way back to the red.
Wouldn't it? I don't want this to happen. This is not me wishing. But if something happens to Aya, he would go back to Red.
I mean he would. Yeah, definitely. All right, so then we see what Starbreaker coming to the gem world.
Yeah, yep. Then anytime guy is gonna go and get the little songstone thing that they need to get off of this planet. And I love how they go like, well, this is gonna be hysterical.
I mean,
Um,
he is making it a kind of a comedic take. I mean, even Starbreaker at times does he looks cool, he looks menacing, he looks but he's not he doesn't have that hardcore quality to him. He seems like a I don't know, he just seems like one of those kick around villains, right?
yeah.
A, but just a bungling idiot that got himself in this great situation with the Sorrow Man and
I,
now look taking over the universe.
I just love the fact that they're gonna sneak in and get the gems and sneak out, and the dragon's name is Henry. And guy is like, all right, step out of the way. You guys stay here worrying about names. Old guy is going to get the job done. And he leaves. And Carol says to Hal, Hal, we can't let him go in there alone. And Kilowogga's like, oh, yes, we can. And then Hal's like, this is going to be hysterical. And then all hell breaks loose.
But I like what he did the Sorrow Lantern.
Yeah.
That was cool. And he knew it too. Because he even said you.
Yeah.
He knew he
Yeah.
was good. And that was a good moment for him too. I don't know, man. Guys growing on me a lot lately.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is Guy's moment to shine these days, I think.
Yeah, I mean he's getting a lot of screen.
Loved the all-out action we get. I
And
thought
then
that was really, really cool.
Carol Ferris with a call back to Hal and her job with the jet.
And
That's
with the
right.
jet, yeah. And
It'd be
Hal
cool.
in the suit of armor and
It would,
trying to fight the dragon.
I wish that Hal would have done a jet at the same time. That would have been cool to see a green and a pink one.
Oh, yeah, that'd been kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it was interesting that, Carol does try to get through to Nathan. Not happening.
But they only got one gem, right? The other two went with
They got one and Starbreaker got two.
right.
So then they tried to use the crystals, and then, Kelly, she's breaking through and finding out what's going on the other side of that door. And Razor gets reunited with Aya. And just as all this happens at the same time, Ellie finds out that whatever's going on the other side of that door is not good. She tries to stop Kelly with the glove, and just as Razor is saying, I love you," this wash of emotion goes across the universe. And I loved the artifact of the Aya is being a machine. Well, we know that she's not all machine, but in being what she is, she's the only one that's got any color, which I thought was interesting. It was a neat art decision to represent the loss of emotion.
Oh yeah, that would be right. It's she's an AI, so she wouldn't have anything, right?
So it sets up an interesting story. I mean, this is obviously we're going to get answers to what was on the other side of the door, what's going on with the gauntlet. That's tied to this story. We obviously are going to see more with Nathan. I think we're going to get some kind of resolution, I would hope, from this. But overall, I think it's off to a good start. It seems if there's any criticism I would throw at it is that it doesn't feel as epic as it should.
No, it feels like it's slowed down a little bit.
Yeah. It slowed down a little bit and the stakes don't seem high. I think that's because there hasn't been enough time put into building it up.
Stakes don't seem high yet, though. Now we're going gray.
Right. Yeah, now we're going gray. I think it's the DC wants to save money on ink.
It could be Xerox is probably really, hey man, you guys have to stop.
The next issues will be all in grayscale. But I think it's off to a good start. I hope it picks up steam and it becomes. Yeah, I think we as Green Lantern fans are a little spoiled in that, you get the Sinestro Corps War and Blackest Night, and how does anything compare to that? I mean, Godhead didn't compare to it. Nothing, the War of the Green Lanterns didn't, Jeff Johns tried to come up with stuff that was going to be comparable, and the War of the Green Lanterns wasn't, and the First Lantern wasn't. None of those things were the same, had the same impact on us as readers as Sinestro Corps and Blackest Night. So I
I
think
think,
it's hard for us when we read these things because I think those that's where the bar is, and it's nothing is getting close to that bar.
and I don't think, I mean, it's going to be hard to top that. It really is. I mean, those are classic moments in Lantern lore, man. And and here's the thing, like a lot has been written after it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And nobody's found the formula to tap into it to redo it again. I mean, something different or something that has to do with it. What,
yeah. I
and
I I think I mean, and this is just my opinion, but Jeff Johns when he approached the series, he had time to lay it all out and plan it all out. He had all the major beats. So he had a plan getting up through Blackest Night. I don't know if he had a plan after Blackest Night,
right,
but everything built towards that. Everything, even though there were individual stories, they all served as a way to build towards this larger story. And those things all it was a culmination of years of planning and story building and world building. And I don't think anybody's been able to capture that level of story design. Robert Venditti, great guy, and he's a good storyteller, but I don't think he was able to do it either. I think he did better once the editorial people got out of the way and let him just do stuff. You compare his run with Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps versus his run prior to that in New 52, and it's much better. There's still Godhead could have been so much more. It was enjoyable, but it didn't have the weight that it could have had.
yeah, you're right.
The Hal's Renegade didn't go where it could have gone, but that was partially because of editorial. It's hard to write a story with Hal being pursued by the Green Lantern Corps when you're told you can't write the Green Lantern Corps.
I think it also helps though that Blackest Night pulled the whole collective into the
Yeah,
fold. So you got, I mean, still remember being 76 or 78 issues of comic books of its entirety. And that
yeah.
includes all the tie-ins across the DC universe. Now, I remember when I read it that not all the tie-ins were directly related, but they had to do with what was going on, right? It's still a
Yeah.
lot.
As he introduced Larfleeze and as he introduced Atrocitus and as he built the Sinestro Corps, all of those building blocks, he made compelling characters that people were interested in, and then you got the mashup of all of them together in Blackest Night. I think it. I would I would hazard to guess we're never going to see something like that again.
I mean, lightning in a bottle, right? I mean,
Right?
sometimes it does, you don't get it.
No.
And I haven't went back and reread it lately, so I would like to do it with fresh eyes, but I'll have to do it. It took a lot of time to get through all those books, so I think I would just read the main Blackest Night book again. But
Hmm.
no, and as a writer, I bet they try to tap that, but it's kind of hard. I mean, because
Sure.
it is with the fans, I would think.
And it's hard and it's got kind of unfair to any of these writers, right? Because everything that we're reading, we're comparing to all of that.
Well, and it's no different than the Superman film, right?
Sure, sure. There's there's
Everybody,
there's no escaping the 78 Superman, right? That was a cultural touchstone. No matter what you do with Superman, it's always going to be compared back to that film.
and then you got Man of Steel, right? And that's what's funny about when the one came out, everybody was like, you can't compare that to Man of Steel. Those are two completely opposite movies of the different spectrum. They couldn't have been more different, right?
Right.
Compared to
Completely different tonally different. Everything it was different.
78, I think it had some mirror qualities, and so did Superman Returns. It had some mirror qualities. And that's only not saying that was related, but I'm talking about how the tone was and how
Yeah.
it was and stuff like that, and how the aesthetic was. Man of Steel was just different. That was just a different realm. I would
Right.
imagine at some point it'll be considered an Elseworlds kind of thing. I'm sure they'll put a tag on it. I don't know if I'll ever go back and watch those again, though. I mean, like it's like watching the Green Lantern movie again. I couldn't tell you the last time I went back and rewatched it, and I don't know if I ever will because a lot of times, you know, 78 Superman holds a special place, so that's easy to watch over and over and over again. Now, I will say this new Superman come out, it's rewatchable for me over and over and over again. But again, it's hit and miss, right?
Right, right.
For all
Yeah,
we know, you could like Lanterns, and you'll probably be sitting down watching that series nonstop, and buy the box set, and it'll come with like a dead coffin with Hal Jordan on
are you a betting man?
the top.
Um, but yeah, no, like and the Snyderverse films it's interesting because I own all of them, but I haven't gone back to watch any of them. I really did like the Snyder version of Justice League better than the other version, the Whedon version,
Yeah,
but it was so long that I wouldn't go back and watch it again.
yeah.
I thought it was a better film, but it was also way too long of a film.
It just doesn't make sense now, right? Because now you're like, well, things aren't going to look that way anymore. So it's time to pivot on and move on. I'll miss Momoa's Aquaman. I thought he nailed it. But I can tell you right now, he's going to nail Lobo.
Yeah, if he wasn't doing Lobo, then I'd be upset, I think. But the fact that he's doing Lobo to me, that's a better fit. I mean,
Yeah,
who wasn't calling for him to be Lobo, right?
right. He was cool as Aquaman, but he didn't fit the aesthetic that I thought Aquaman should be. But again, it's about your
Well,
perception, right?
Corn Sweat became Superman, right? Momoa didn't become Aquaman. Aquaman became Momoa.
That's fair.
Um, I
I
liken it to like Iron Man. I liked the Iron Man movies, but that wasn't Tony Stark from the comics.
no, it was written differently,
Right. It
right?
was Robert Downey Jr. It was
Right,
Iron Man playing Robert Downey Jr., not
right.
the other way around. And the actor's ability to immerse themselves in the role. And Corn Sweat, all kudos to him. I thought he did such a fantastic job in inhabiting the character.
Yeah. And I would be willing to bet because I watched him in Twisters. I remember seeing him in that, and I'd be willing to bet that that dude went back and watched some of the Reeves stuff because if you notice, there was a lot of qualities he had that mirrored Christopher Reeves. And I had that kind of nostalgic feel when he was on screen.
Yeah. When the one thing I'll say about, I mean, I know realize we're no longer talking about the Green Lantern book, but what the thing about Corn Sweat and Reeve was that there was a distinct difference in how they physically portrayed themselves as Superman and Clark Kent.
Mhm.
Like you can see when they go from one to the other, there's a difference of posture, there's a difference of
Yeah.
stature that sells it. And that's the one thing about Henry Cavill's version of Superman that didn't translate well.
No,
I thought Cavill was a great Superman,
but not Clark Kent.
but not a great Clark Kent. And I would argue that Corn Sweat is a better Clark Kent than he is Superman.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I me I'm 50-50 on it. I think he balances it well.
Yeah,
And
well, I think he did fine in both, but I think if I were looking at where he's stronger,
oh yeah,
I think his Clark is stronger than his Superman. Not that we saw a lot of Clark to judge by, but that we
right.
saw enough. Like you could see his Clark Kent in Superman, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially the comedic moments.
You could see the heart of the character. It's the same. The essence of the character is the same, even though the posture is different. If that makes sense.
Right.
And that for me sold it for me as far as his ability to play the character. My problems with the movie really weren't with any of his stuff. It was more in the script. I had problems with some of the script choices and some of the direction. But I thought it looked fine. There were some criticisms about the CGI, and I didn't really feel that when I saw it. But my friends, we will be back soon. I'm going to try to get this episode out. We're not going to do listener feedback, so I can get this out as quick as I can. I won't get it out before I leave because it's quarter after 10 p.m. my time, and I still got to pack and pull out comics to get signed and hit the road here early in the morning.
That's
So
more important anyway.
so when I get back on Sunday, I'll start editing if I've got the strength. and try to get this out early in the week, and then maybe you and I can get together and record another one next week or something. We don't have any Lantern books to talk about because we're caught up, but we do have Absolute Green Lantern to talk about. I think it just hit its sixth issue.
I mean, I haven't started. I think I started the first one, but I think I was gonna wait until like 6 came out and then do them all. We can do like a complete.
We could do a complete thing. So you haven't read anything past the first issue, right?
Nope.
Okay.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. I'll save my comments for and my criticisms and applauds for. I want you to be able to read it without me coloring any of it in either direction.
All right. I'll just nod in agreement with your criticisms, Paul.
I I don't have a lot of criticism of it.
Nothing wrong with criticisms.
Um, no.
We need them.
All right, my friends. Well, until next time, take care of each other, treat each other well, and keep your power charged and make every day your brightest day. Oh, and if you're at Terrificon, well, you're not going to see this until after I get back anyway. So never mind. But make every day your brightest day. Take care. Thanks so much for watching this Green Lantern video from the blog of Oa. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find even more great Green Lantern videos, reviews, podcasts, and more at our main website, www.blogofoa.com. So until next time, keep your power ring charged and make every day your brightest day.